All right, so here we are. We're going to do exercise 1.3a, number 41. This is one that students often have questions about, and I think it's because it's a little confusing what they're asking here. And once you figure out what they're asking, it's a pretty straightforward problem. So number 41, students. There are 4 students and the number of bees. You look at that and go, what are they talking about, the number of bees? What they're talking about here is the number of students who received B's, probably on an assignment or something. We don't know what the other student received, maybe an A or a C or something, but it doesn't matter. We need to figure out the percentage of students who received B's. So what we're going to do is we're going to write a ratio of the number of students who received B's to the total number of students. That's 3 to 4. And remember, the word percent means out of 100. So we're going to change this ratio, and so it's out of 100. So here we have our equation, and we are going to solve for x. First thing we're going to do, we want to get rid of the divide by 100 and get x by itself. So we're going to multiply by 100 on both sides of our equation. These two divide to 1, so we end up with just 1x on this side. And over here we have 100 times 3/4. We're going to go off to the side to do that. 100, we're going to change it to a fraction over 1 times 3 over 4. 100 times 3, that gives us 300. And 1 times 4, that gives us 4. So we have 300 over 4 is equal to x. And so now x is by itself, but this isn't simplified, so we need to keep going one more step here. So we're going to do 300 divided by 4 to figure out what this number is. 4 goes into 30 7 times. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract, we get 2. Bring down the 0. 4 goes into 25 times. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract, we get 0. So the answer is 75. So x is equal to 75. So which means that 75 out of 100, which is written as 75%, is the number of students who have B's. Okay? So that was the first one. Our next problem. All right, here's exercise 1.3b, number 6. Now, if you look at this one, the reason why most of the students get stuck on this one is we have 29.84 at the top and 64.643 at the bottom. We're taking 29 and we're subtracting this. We're taking this number and subtracting this number. And if you look at this number is smaller than this number. So we're going to end up with a negative number at the end. And subtracting like this, it doesn't really work. So what we really have here, if you think about it, we really have 29.84, and we're adding a negative 64.643. We're going to end up with a negative number at the end. And the way we figured out how much we're going to end up with at the end is we need to take this number right here, subtract this one, because this one's bigger. We're going to take this one, subtract this one, and then make sure our answer has a negative number for the answer. All right, so we're going to take 64.643 and we're going to take 29.84 away from that so that we can figure out how much we have left over once we put those two together. All right, so we're going to subtract. 3 minus 0 is 3, 4 minus 4 is 0, 6 minus 8, we're going to borrow here. 16 minus 8 is 8. 3 minus 9, we're going to borrow again. 13 minus 9 is 4. 5 minus 2 is 3. We're going to bring down the decimal point, and remember, our number is going to be negative. So that's going to be our answer. If you're confused at what we're doing here, let's think about it without using these weird numbers. Let's think about it with like regular numbers. If we have 2 minus 5, that's the same thing. That's the same thing as 2 plus a negative 5. The negative 5 is bigger, so that's the one that we're going to have left over at the end. I like to think about it this way. We have 2 piles of dirt, and we have 5 holes in the ground like this. 2, 3, 4, 5. So this pile of dirt goes in here, and this pile of dirt goes in here, and we end up with flat ground right there, and our answer is going to be these 3 holes in the ground, okay? So we end up with a negative 3 as the answer. So what you have to do is take the bigger number, subtract the smaller number off, and see what you have left. So that's what we did up here. We took the bigger number, we subtracted the smaller number, and we saw what he had left, but we had to make sure that it had the correct sign. because we started out with a negative number that was bigger, our answer is going to be a negative number. Okay, I hope that helps. Please let me know if you have any questions on this. I can explain it again or in a different way if you need me to.